All right, welcome to the Carrington September resident virtual meeting. I am joined today by the members of the resident council. So I'm the voice behind the screen right now, but I'll ask each of the council members to introduce themselves and share with us which committee that they serve on, and then we'll proceed with our announcements for the community. So, Ms. Cozetta, could you get us started?
I am Cozetta Joseph, and I have chair of the Food Service Committee.
I'm Jaima Levin, and I chair the Building Operations Committee.
I'm Mary Jo Winkus. I chair the Activities Committee.
And I'm Phil Castro Giovanni, and I chair all the committees.
Papa Phil.
I don't know how else to say it.
Coming from behind the screen to on screen,
Great council president.
Tom Whitaker, Executive Director of the Carrington. Good to be with you all. We'll provide some updates based on our resident council meetings, and then each of the council members will provide some updates about their respective committees. So this is recorded on Thursday, September 24th, and will be broadcast on Tuesday, September 29th. We want to share with everyone the October calendars will be available by the time that this is broadcast on our Touchtown in-house TV channel 1901. The October calendars will be for activities. There'll be a fitness calendar. There's a calendar specific for the channel 1901 programs, and the calendars can be found in the independent living room right by the concierge desk. There's a credenza in the living room where we have those available. Some of our updates include that the Carrington has progressed to CMS Phase 3. This is the result of a lot of hard work from our residents, families, and our staff to keep everyone here at the community safe. The last active resident case that we had was in May, and the last staff case that we had was in June. We have had 4 rounds of all of our Carrington staff tested and tested negative. So we have gone from bi-weekly testing to monthly testing. The next staff testing is scheduled for October 7th and October 8th, and we'll continue to do monthly testing following IDPH guidance. I know I say that phrase quite a bit, but we continue to do so, and appreciate everyone's commitment to wearing your masks in the common areas, sanitizing, temperature checks, having visitors fill out the questionnaires and get temperature screenings as well. So thank you all for that. With CMS Phase 3, we are now permitted to accommodate indoor visitations for our assisted living residents. Those are in the common area of the first floor. There's a section designated in the AL dining room. We continue to offer the outdoor patio visits as well for assisted living residents, and those days are scheduled on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. If you're an email person, you email almcquestions@thecarrington.com to schedule a visit over in assisted living. How this also impacts independent living is residents have been allowed to have 2 designated visitors who could come, and they could have 1 person at a time in their apartment. We've now increased that where you may have 2 guests at a time inside your apartment. The guests have to be above 18 years old, and it can either be your 2 designated guests, or if one of the designated guests brings a member of their household. As long as that second person is above 18, the 2 of them can go into your apartment for a visit. common areas are still restricted to residents only. They are disinfected multiple times per day. And an additional update with the CMS Phase 3 is that we're also now able to have more than 10 residents in a common area room or at an activity, provided that we can maintain that minimum 6 feet of social distance. So you may have noticed in the tap room, the bistro, the cafe, we've posted adjusted occupancy signs. And it's exciting that residents can gather for bingo or play a board game or have a socializing group or a current events group. Those are the main changes. We're excited that that can happen. At the same time, we still need to be committed to safety, because if we get any new community onset case, which is a resident who tests positive in the community, we would have to revert back to the most restrictive Phase 1 and remain in Phase 1 until that resident's case was cleared and we did not have any new cases for at least 2 weeks. So please keep wearing your masks inside the community, outside the community, and we'll continue working hard to keep everyone safe. Let's see. That felt like a lot of talking. Was that a lot of talking?
That's a lot.
Okay.
It was important talking though.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mary Jo. Speaking of important talking, strongly encourage all residents to get a flu shot this season. We had distributed consent forms and collected them. Thank you to our community nurse, Helen, for assisting with that, and for concierge for collecting the forms. The flu shots are going to be scheduled on October 1st, and we'll provide a schedule and a location for independent living residents so they know when and where they should go for their flu shot.
It's not too late to turn in your form, right, if you haven't turned it in?
I believe we've collected all of them. I think by the time this airs on the 29th, we will not be accepting new forms.
Okay.
But you are free, feel free to make an appointment to get a flu shot. If you don't do it here, that doesn't mean you missed out altogether. Please make an appointment, CVS, Walgreens, Mariano's Pharmacy, your doctor's office. Strongly encourage you to get a flu shot this year. Let's see. The resident surveys have been distributed. We want to know what we're doing well. We want to know the areas we can improve, and really encourage you to complete those surveys. You can turn them into the concierge desk, or you can just put them in the mail in the envelope that came with the survey. Just ask, if you mail it directly, please notify the concierge that you sent one in, because every resident who completes a survey, including assisted living and memory care residents who may have family members that do it for them, all our residents that complete one will be entered in a raffle for some semi-fabulous prizes that we will announce later on. So please, telling us what we do well is great. Telling us where we can improve is also great. And the goal of doing this is to improve your experience living here. The surveys themselves are completely anonymous. A third party collects all of them, processes them, and then just gives us the aggregate data, so we have no idea who answered what. Would very much, Haima pointed out in a discussion this week, would very much encourage you to fill out the comments section as well, because we do get those comments passed along to us and appreciate your messages. We have a resident event on October 1st. There'll be live music in the courtyard, a band called 3 for the Road that residents requested to have come perform outdoors after seeing them at another outdoor venue. There'll also be some snacks and treats available to the residents, and this is prior to a similar marketing event where on October 7th we'll be hosting prospects outdoors on the tap patio with live music and similar snacks for them, to show them what it's like to live at the Carrington and why we think it's a safe and a great place to live. October is Fire Safety Month, And Haima will provide an update when she talks about the Building Ops Committee with some more details about that. Would like to share with our residents, we have a defibrillator. Did I say that correctly, Phil?
Mm-hmm, you did.
You have to say it 3 times quickly.
I cannot.
Defibrillator, yeah.
Defibrillator is in the fitness room. We have 2 more. We had purchased these in late spring, and with the second and third ones will be in the dining rooms. We just have not put them there yet as we were working on our lunch service, which is going well. We're getting good feedback from residents about what they enjoy about it, and appreciate everyone who's placing their orders. Keep in mind, we're not doing any to-goes, so it's either still meal delivery, or it's selecting on your menu that you'd like to have lunch. And in assisted living, lunch is 11:30 to 12:30. In independent living, we have a 12 o'clock seating time and a 1 o'clock seating time. Let's see. We have a fax machine now at the independent living desk in the copy room. So faxes are complimentary for residents. Would request that if you bring a document down, based on what's going on that day, concierge may not be able to complete that fax for you right away. So they may ask you to leave the document at the desk, and they'll contact you when that fax has been completed. Also would like to share that the Carrington updates that have been going out on Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm going to adjust and reduce that to a weekly update that'll be on Tuesday of each week. So that'll be effective Tuesday, September 29th. That'll be the first week that we just have the 1 update per week. We will also be switching the convenience store and the package rooms. We anticipate a lot of package delivery with the upcoming fall and holiday season that follows, and the current convenience store location offers more space. So we're going to be making that switch probably by the end of the week that you're viewing this, where the package room will be a little bit further down that hall, and the convenience store will be visible right when you come through the front doors of the Carrington when you're coming home. Would also like to share that our concierge coverage at the desk beginning in October will be extended to 8 p.m. Our security currently starts at 7 p.m., so I believe there'll be a small overlap there. We'll have a concierge at the desk till 8 o'clock. And I'm looking down my list.
Red envelope and buddy system.
Thank you. We have the red envelopes, so with your emergency contact information, you can get a red envelope from the front desk. You can get a new sheet for your emergency contact information if the address has changed, a phone number has changed. Would encourage you to update that probably at least quarterly, or anytime you have a change in your medication. And we had a great suggestion from one resident, Margie, a few months back, saying that you can have your emergency contact info, and you can even make up a second page that you attach to it that has your list of medications. So if those change, you can cross one out, you can add a new one. But it's important that when you update that, please let the concierge know. We need to make a copy of the most recent information so that our community nurse Helen has it, so she can support you and provide the best possible care. And God forbid there's an emergency, that we would be able to provide a copy to any emergency personnel who came to help you.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Phil.
Also, some of you have made wishes of having your living will. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have that in the red envelope along with everything else, since they have to take you into the emergency room, and you want that to be your wishes. You have everything right there for them.
Thank you. Okay, I think I've done enough talking, so I'm going to pass it along to the resident council members. Cosetta, I think I've been sitting directly in front of you for a couple minutes, so I'll lean back and let Cosetta speak.
Good afternoon. I'd like to speak to the new residents about the food committee. We meet twice a month. There are cards in the mail room where you can write your comments about your meals. The food service staff, they appreciate your comments. They want to make any corrections or meet any dietary or nutritional needs that you may have on an individual basis. We do review each comment. If it's negative, the chef is there, the director is there, and they want to make corrections to meet your needs, to satisfy you so you can have a great meal service. We also like to get the comments of what's positive. They appreciate the comments. The chef, he smiles when they read they enjoyed the meal. So don't forget to write what you enjoy, and if you don't, he wants to hear any comment, and if you got any recipes that you like to share and you like for them to add, include them. They appreciate all of the input. And we do meet, and everybody wants to satisfy the needs. There's a great staff, and they're willing to please. That's it.
I'm Haima. I would like to say that the Building Operations Committee meets on the second Wednesday of the month in the afternoon. It's on the calendar. It's an opportunity for residents to come together with Dave Jenkins, who's the Building Operations Manager here at the Carrington. We discuss issues that residents bring to our attention, or issues that Dave wants to speak about, or share with us that has to do with the physical plant itself. One of the things that we talked about this month, when the committee met earlier this month of September, Dave reminded us that October is Fire Safety Month, and Dave is going to be creating a program, coming to the floors to visit with and chat with small groups of residents, because we have to be socially correct about the number of people who are together at one time, and talking about fire safety issues that we probably have never actually done before. This is a remarkably safe building when it was built, and remains that way, and yet many of us aren't familiar with the amenities relative to the safety of this building, and we should be aware of it. So there will be further information that will appear at your door when Dave is ready with his plans, to let you know when those gatherings will be held. And I strongly urge you to attend them. You're going to be seeing this at the end of September, and on the heels of September, you know, will come October. At the Carrington, we have very few ways, other than verbally, of showing our appreciation for our employees. One of the ways that we have of showing our appreciation for our employees is the annual Employee Appreciation Fund, which all of us contribute to at the end of the year, and then distribute to the employees. This is a function of the resident council. Each one of us actually has an official position, and I am officially the treasurer of this group. That gives me no particular responsibilities except to talk extensively about how much I appreciate the employees who work here. And I want you to begin thinking about how much they have done for us. As we have moved into phase 3, as Tom has told us, I began thinking about what it took. We have 160 or 170 employees, Tom, somewhere in that neighborhood. What does it take for 170 people to test negative here over more than a 2-month period? What does that mean about their families and how they come and go from here, and their own personal activities when they're not at the Carrington? It really blows me away to realize how our employees have protected us, and how much good care they've taken of themselves, and therefore, by association, what good care they've taken of us. And I have to say that they always have smiles on their faces, and the place I'm most prone to interact and to call down is the kitchen. And if something isn't right or something is missing, it's responded to, my request is responded to rapidly, and the person who comes up, if I'm fast enough to open the door, I can say thank you to the person fleeing down the hall, who always turns around back to me and says, "You're welcome," and I can see the smile. Our employees are amazing, and I think that we will be talking more in the next few months about the Employee Appreciation Fund, but I really want you to begin thinking about how generous you can be with that. It's the only time of the year that we have an opportunity to do this, and they earn and deserve every bit of respect and appreciation that we can offer to them. So, end for now, but you'll hear from me again later. Mary Jo.
I'm Mary Jo Winkus. I'm Chair of the Activities Committee, and my role on the council is also secretary, so I take a lot of notes. The Activities Committee used to meet twice a month, but we've decided that once a month seems to be plenty. So the third Tuesday of October, November, and December, all committee meetings are in the calendar, so you can find it there as well. Sometimes, or oftentimes, frankly, when somebody wants to suggest an activity to me, I encourage them to talk to Rick directly, because oftentimes there are all kinds of details that really are best worked out directly with Rick. So if you come to me and say, "I'd like to do this, this, and this," don't be offended if I say, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and talk directly to Rick?" And because you don't want me in between all that anyway. So I guess that's all I'm gonna say. It's all for you.
Hi, my name is Phil Castrogiovanni. Like I said, I'm the president of your council, and by that means I'm involved in all of the committees one way or another. One of the things that we have to be grateful to the Carrington is how well they kept us during this trying time. We were like little cocoons. We couldn't come out of our rooms, and all of a sudden we're now starting to open up very, 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 very slowly, and we're starting to get socializing again at distance and so forth, but we still are. One of the things that I don't know if you're aware of, that IDPH and CDC had recommended as part of the isolation, was to create some type of a buddy system. We do it here at the Carrington because we're all just like family here, but it still is independent living. And what we need to do and think about it is to look out for each other, and by that we can become buddies. You can find a person you like, or maybe even a person you don't like, but you care for their you care for their well-being as they may care for your well-being. And it's just every day. I know that I go through the times, and I'm sure people here say, I haven't seen Cosetta for today. Where is she? Or I haven't seen Jaime today. That type of a buddy system. That's all it takes, just for you to hook up with somebody like that, and you do. Keep an eye with your friends, and that's not a bad idea. There's other things that the Carrington are going to be looking at to help us to keep track of each other, but we as a population here and a community can look out for each other. So think about the buddy system. Think about contacting your friend, every day, make sure that they're okay, or even having a cup of coffee with them or something like that. And if you don't see them, you can always let somebody know, "Hey, has anybody seen so-and-so?" So with that, that's about it.
All right, thanks, Phil.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna slide back into the shot and block out Cosetta just momentarily. Want to thank you all for watching. Like to remind everyone that the October calendars with activities, fitness, and our channel 1901
And movies.
Movies,
Separate calendar.
for movies, are available in the first floor living room on the credenza, so please look there for your calendars. Get your flu shots either with us on October 1st or through your physician or an appointment, And remember the resident event with live music in the courtyard on October 1st. Thank you to Cosetta, Haima, Mary Jo, and Phil, resident council, for being here. And as always, I'm available for your questions. I like to joke I'm the only Tom that works here, so you can reach me, tom@thecarrington.com. It gets laughs, yeah. All right, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for being residents of the Carrington. We appreciate you.
And we appreciate you all.
Yes, thank you.